So one of the things that's necessary for you to know for completing a calculus course is you need to be comfortable with your lines and your functions, function notation, how to find equations of lines. So I just created a review for you to kind of pick a little bit of the important stuff out of a college algebra and an intermediate algebra course to make sure you have the necessary skills to succeed in this calculus course. So again, if you are not comfortable with this material, if this is not something that you know, not something that you remember, you most certainly are in the wrong class, and you most definitely want to go back and retake a college algebra course and or intermediate algebra course to prepare yourself for calculus. I don't want you starting off behind and making it too hard for yourself to succeed in the calculus course itself. So please, this week, make sure when you do these reviews, be honest with yourself. Is this the right class for you? Are you ready for this course? So let's just go ahead and remind ourselves, what is a line? So a line or a linear function or linear equation is a first degree polynomial. So that means the power on the variable is 1. You just have an x. You don't have an x squared or x cubed or anything like that. It says the simplest mathematical model for relating two variables is a linear equation, y equals mx plus b. This is called slope-intercept form. I'm going to go ahead and write that down real quick. Slope-intercept form. And that's really, really important for you to know, because virtually every single time I ask for the equation of a line, I want you to put it in this form right here. This is not the only form for lines. There's something called general form. There's something called point slope form. But this is the one that I really, really want you to know. Y equals mx plus b. M here is your slope. 0b, the ordered pair, the point, would be your y-intercept. And that's exactly what it's showing right here. It says the slope of a non-vertical line is the number of units the line rises or falls vertically for each unit of horizontal change from the right. So all this is saying is slope is rise over 1. And what does that mean? Rise is your up and down. So that's your change in y. I'm going to go ahead and use delta y. Delta here just means change over change in x. Delta x being here change in x. Most of you are probably used to seeing it as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the formula for finding a slope, but a slope is just the rate of change. It's how is this line changing. If it's positive, as you go from left to right, the line is going up. If it's negative, as you go from left to right, the line is going down. So when you look at this and you have that equation y equals mx plus b, the m is giving you the slope of the line, the change. The b does not give you the y-intercept, it gives you the y value of a y-intercept. And this is very important for you to note right now, that an intercept is a point on the graph. So a y-intercept would be the point where it touches the y-axis. So when I say what's the y-intercept, you don't say 3, you would say the point 0, 3. So you got to be really careful with that. Same thing over here, the y-intercept again. The y-intercept is always 0, a number. For a y-intercept, it's always 0, a number. Okay? So it says a linear equation is written in the form y equals mx plus b is called the slope-intercept form. That's what we highlighted earlier, the slope-intercept form. You most definitely need to know this. Almost always I'm going to have you write your answers in this. So it says its slope is m. So when you see that letter right there, that's your slope. And then I want you to be really careful. Yet again, I've mentioned this a couple times already. B is not the y-intercept. The point 0b is the y-intercept. So it is an ordered pair. So here's just some things that I wanted to remind you. The equation of a horizontal line is y equals. The y value, it remains constant. The x value always changes. So if you have a horizontal line, your y value is always the same. So you would say something like y equals 5. Okay? Think about a vertical line. With a vertical line, the x value always remains the same. The y value is what's changing. So what we would say is the line is of the form x equals a number. So for instance, x equals -2 would be a vertical line. Horizontal lines are y equals, vertical lines are x equals. Okay, x-intercepts are points on the graph where it touches the x-axis. I want to be clear here, it is a point on the graph like I emphasized earlier, meaning you do have to write it as an ordered pair. So anytime a problem asks for an x-intercept, you're going to write them with the form. Well, an x-intercepts are on the y-axis, so your y value is always 0. So it has to be written of the form some number, comma, 0. So it just says a0 here, a being some number. And then you also see those y-intercepts. Y-intercepts are on the y-axis, and if you notice, anytime you're on the y-axis, your x value is 0. So that's why anytime it asks for a y-intercept, your answer is going to be 0, comma, a number.